Hello, welcome to How to Pass National 5 Practical Cookery. My name is Paul Caldwell. I'm currently the Home Economics teacher at Dunoon Grammar School and I'll be taking you through this video today. The National 5 Practical Cookery exam is made up of 3 different stages. You have your practical exam, an assignment and a written exam. To pass the Practical Cookery exam, you must prepare, cook, finish and serve a 3-course meal within 2.5 hours. You'll be allocated an extra hour beforehand to prepare any food that you might need for the exam. Dishes served at the wrong time will not be awarded any marks available for service, although you will be still credited with any marks you've been awarded up to this point. You'll be observed by your teacher as you work, so it is important to do your best at all times. You will gain marks for everything you do correctly. And throughout the year, pupils will learn different cookery processes and techniques that will prepare them for the exam. The next part of the Practical Cookery exam is the assignment. This is worth 18 marks and will consist of a time plan, service details and an equipment requisition list. Before starting your time plan, you should highlight a list of all the preparation you can do before you start the practical activity. There are certain preparations you're allowed to do before starting the practical activity, but these should not be included in the time plan. Some examples of these are: you will be allowed to set up your own personal work area with all the equipment needed for preparing, cooking and serving the foods. You'll be able to weigh and measure all ingredients unless a recipe states prepared weight. These ingredients must be weighed during the practical assignment in order to be awarded the marks. If the recipe states that the ingredient can be prepared, for example, peeled onion, garlic, carrot, finely chopped parsley, this shows you're allowed to do it in the preparation time. No other ingredients should be prepared. You can prepare garnish or decorations not included in the recipes. So, in your time plan, you must include starting and finishing times. You will be told these times. Time of the activity to a minimum of 10-minute blocks. It is advisable to write out important steps. Include the weights and how you will prepare the prepared ingredients. Give timings of activities, for example, preparation of ingredients such as vegetables, pastries, etc. Include the weights of how you will prepare the prepared ingredients. Cooking times. You must state the time when you are putting food in the oven or on the hob to cook, and when you must check for readiness, or when you take it out or off the oven or off the hob. Cooling and resting times. Include putting food in the refrigerator. This shows good hygiene practice. Service times must be clearly indicated. For example, the starter 2 hours after the start time, your main course must be served 2 hours and 15 minutes after start time, and your dessert 2 hours and 25 minutes after the start time. The time plan is worth 10 marks of your assignment, and to do well in this, you should sequence the activity in the correct order. For example, start the dish that takes the longest and is going to take the most time, put that first. Include all activities in your time plan and time them appropriately. Don't give, for example, an hour to chop vegetables when it's only going to take you around 10 minutes. You must remember to include safety and hygiene points in your time plan. These could include washing hands, washing dishes, washing vegetables, disposing of waste, storing food, and working safely. You can put clean as you go on your time plan to remind you to clean up as you're going along as well. The next stage of the assignment will be the service details. This is worth 4 marks and you must detail how each of your 3 dishes will be served. Remember to include temperature of the service dishes, how the food will be presented, details of garnishes and decorations. You must state that serving plates will be served clean, and you can do this by giving a written description or drawing a labelled diagram of your service details. The last part of your assignment will be your equipment requisition. This is also worth 4 marks, and you should identify appropriate pieces of equipment for all 3 dishes. You might need to use the same piece of equipment, for example a measuring jug, more than once, but you should only list it once, as you will be able to wash the equipment as you go. Read through your recipe and take notes on what you're being asked to do and what equipment you might need for the task to help you. For your written exam, you will have 1 hour to complete it. It will be worth 30 marks and the questions will focus on evaluating, explaining, identifying and costing. Every practical cookery exam paper will have an evaluate question. To answer an evaluate question, it is helpful to remember fact, opinion, and consequence. These questions are usually worth 6 marks. So a typical question for evaluate in the practical cookery written exam would be evaluate the effect on the appearance of the following ingredients when used in a recipe for mashed potatoes. The ingredient they could give you could be freshly chopped chives, so you would state a fact about this. Freshly chopped chives are green in colour, that's a fact. The opinion would be it is good in mashed potato, and the consequence would be as it will contrast with the white of the mash, making it more attractive and appealing. You might also be asked a describe style question in the exam. An example of a question you will be asked could be, using a recipe, describe 3 changes that could be made to help meet current dietary advice. You can change ingredients, add ingredients, or change cookery processes. So the first thing you need to look for is you need to identify a change. Then you need to state why you're making the change, and you need to state the dietary goal that this will help meet. So for example, this question will give you a recipe. This is a recipe for fish cakes. So there's an ingredients list here: 100 grams of fresh white fish, 175 grams of potatoes, 30 ml of whole milk, 25 grams of butter, half an egg, 10 grams of parsley, and 10 ml of lemon juice. So you have to look for 3 changes that you would make to meet current dietary advice from this recipe. So an example on how to answer this question: identify a change. I would change the white fish to salmon. Say why you're making the change, because this will increase the amount of oily fish in the recipe. And what dietary goal will it help to meet? Well, the target says we should eat at least 1 portion of oily fish per week, and salmon is an oily fish. In the written exam, you'll be asked to cost a recipe. You'll be allowed a calculator to do this. It's usually worth 6 marks, and you will be given a formula to follow. The formula is the cost to buy the ingredient divided by the quantity of the ingredient times the quantity required in the recipe, and that will give you the cost. For example, a 1000 gram bag or a kilogram bag of caster sugar costs £1.60 to buy, and you will need 100 grams for the recipe. So the formula would be £1.60 divided by 1000 times 100, and that will give you 16 pence. So 16 pence is the cost of 100 grams of the recipe for sugar. Over the next few months, the young people will be given a lot of advice and support to help them with the exam. This will come in the form of homework, where each week they will be given an exam-style question to take home and answer and be given feedback when they bring it back to the class. They should also practice their skills at every opportunity, whether it be cooking at home or coming to class and cooking. Attendance is very important when it comes to the practical exam, as this is where you will learn most skills needed to pass. In the lead up to the exam, there will be a supported study group on as well for young people to attend to help them with any concerns that they have for the exam.